back here on the Snedeker podcast. How's everyone doing? Hope you're doing good. Hope you're having a good summer. You know, it's sunny. It's a great day. You'll probably want to take advantage of these great days, because if you live in Michigan like me, they're fleeting. Winter will be creeping in sooner than we think. But enough of that. Gonna chat about stuff today like I usually do, so let's get right into it. And yeah, here we go. How's that for an intro? You gotta love an intro that's just like, yeah, here's a podcast. As if, you know, I'm just waking up. This week, great week. Good week. Good fun. Friday, Earth Radio played Burl and Sprigfest in Muskegon. So, you know, we were on the bill with Mellophobics, Groove Ground Music, and Desmond Jones. And that led to some, you know, great sets. A lot of friends being there. We had a big super jam. You know, on the I don't even remember how it goes. I can't remember how it goes. It's really easy. It's just Disco Inferno. There's like that, like, you know, C minor, and then I don't think it's that. But we had a big super jam, 12 people at least on stage, multiple percussion, you know, guitars, keys during Desmond Jones' set, and it was a lot of fun. Saturday I had the day off, which is great. It's great to have a day. It was the day, we'll call it the day before the madness set in. Because I looked at my calendar going forward, and with everything coming back, things are getting crazy. I've said it multiple times, and I'll continue to say it. You know, it's an adjustment. My energy is, I don't know how I had so much energy, even when I was like dog tired. Like when I was, you know, there would be days where I'd be in 3 cities in a day. I'd like do something in Grand Rapids. I'd go out to Grand Haven to do something, and then I'd play in Muskegon until super late and then drive home, or even just stay overnight and then do, you know, get up, go to the studio the next day, you know, work, come back, you know, work a show doing sound at Founders till like 2 a.m. when everything was closing, and then we'd be tearing down, and you know, we'd be done by 3 at the latest, and then even then it's when some of the staff are still hanging around. And it's like, okay, well, I guess we'll just do the post-work hang on the patio, like, you know, all these hours that I was like, how did I have the energy for that? Because I'm feeling the fatigue of having to walk into spaces and feel the amount of people in the room. I don't really say that a lot. I don't say those types of things a lot where it's like, you know, feeling people's energy. But there is an energy, you know, when you've got a room full of people and you're kind of the stranger in the room. So you're the stranger in the room, but you're also the center of attention in a way. Not me specifically, but like if I'm a musician at a wedding, there's only a few things that the average person at the wedding is going to care about: bride and groom, the family, what are we eating, and then what is there to do after we're done eating? You know, are we doing some sparkler thing? Are we doing, are they going to take a carriage ride? Are we going to do, is there fireworks? I don't know. Some people have fireworks at their wedding. Like what do we do after this? And so to be the band, that, we're on that list. It's like if there's a live band, that's musicians to interact with, it's songs to dance to. It's, it's a concert and people dig it. But yeah, when you walk into a space and it's like it's like you walk in and you immediately feel the staff is like running around getting everything set. You're kind of meeting bartenders, you're kind of meeting the planner, you're kind of meeting the people in the kitchen, in the catering staff running in and out, the people setting the tables, the people hosting, the people who are just taking care of the grass. It's like all those people are suddenly aware that you're not part of the wedding party, so you're part of the vendor. And as a vendor, you walk in and you kind of have to get cozy with them, because sometimes they seat you at a table with, photographers, or if there's like a specialty food thing, like maybe that person or team, they have a spot too. But yeah, you walk in and it's immediately like, hey, here's everything at once. And I'm sure, it's stressful for a person planning a wedding a lot more, but it's more of just like the energy of like, okay, I need to have the energy to on the fly adjust anything all the time. Like if something's like, oh, there's interference or something's weird with the sound, adjust it. Oh, there's something weird with my keys. Hurry up and fix it out. Hurry up and fix it so you can continue playing the song. The caterer is an hour late, so you're gonna have to DJ or cocktail hour more music. They requested a dance or a DJ song that wasn't in the request, so you just gotta go with the flow, like find it and play it, and all the little things that add up to being like, and then you have to have the energy on stage to interact with all the musicians. At this point, you have some rapport, some professionalism, some friendships, but you have to like pay attention, because sometimes, you have songs that do certain things weird that you need to adjust on the fly. Because you get stuck in that rhythm of like thinking everything's the same, and then somebody does a slightly different approach to a song, or they loop a section, or they, every time they go for a dominant chord, it's not the dominant chord from the recording, it's just a dominant chord. So you have to, hear it and then be like, okay, they're playing like a sharp 9, sharp 13. I don't know. And then you play it. Or they're playing a sus 13, or like you just, and then you just go like, okay, I guess for this song I just got to make sure at that spot I play that chord so it's not crunchy, or I play a line or texture that's not gonna clash with the harmony. And then you have, there's little adjustments throughout the night where you're having people come up to you in different states of intoxication, being, appreciative of what you're doing, or they want to talk to you, or they play an instrument and they want to have that rapport with musicians, and, they're looking at from the far, like, I wish I could be a musician. Oh, to be a musician. I would love it. I would love to be a musician. It's full of wonder and glee, and there's a lot to learn and a lot to see. Being a musician is difficult, but it's a whole lot of fun. Okay, the wedding party was also, and this is a note because East Michigan, and the people who usually pay for like a full wedding band, like 6 to 9 people, and sound and all the other, and paying for a wedding in general of that size, and all those details, they tend to be a little bit white. The only other wedding I've played that was interracial, and I only noticed this because I'm interracial. Hello, look at me. I'm a product of diversity. I'm the missing link. I'm the savior of mankind. Um, which you know is not true. The bride and groom, just like my parents, black woman and a white dad, which I don't see a lot. I see a lot of the opposite, but you know, people have preferences. I just noticed that because that's how I grew up, and it was only the second or third time I've ever played an interracial wedding. The one other time I remember for sure, I think it was in Charlevoix, Michigan, at a venue, this like old castle. It might have been Petoskey, I don't know, somewhere north, but not Traverse City. And you know, it was this old like converted castle estate that was a wedding venue, and it was the wedding, the big wedding of two doctors, and the one doctor was I'm going to say Middle Eastern. I don't know specifically. I can't speak to anything at all. You know, if I wanted to, I could see if I could find the music we DJ'd for one of the sets. And that was interesting because clearly the band was killing it for one half of the family. And then the other half, some people were appreciative of the music. Some people, you know, they heard us cover like Whitney Houston or other stuff. And they're like, oh, I love Whitney Houston. But most times it was like, hey, could you play stuff that we know? And it's like, what? Like, no offense, but what do you know? Like, on the fly being like, hey, we're a culture you're probably not too familiar with, playing a lot of, you know, watered down Americanized versions of songs that have been transformed from a piece of art into a commodity that fits the puzzle piece of an aesthetic for a event that it happens once and nobody's going to remember. They're going to remember in general that there was music. They're not going to remember a ton of extra stuff. Some people might remember specific things, and then those people tell their friends, and then that's how the Blue Water Kings people get hired. But it's, you know, like in that moment, it's like I want to help and be like, yeah, I could totally just like but then you think about like the stuff we were DJing, a lot of it was like you had to know a specific type of beat, you had to know certain song structures. There's all those shared popular and folk tradition songs that you know you kind of have to have some working knowledge of to even try and do it. And then there's also the element of tuning, like a lot of the keyboard players in you know certain Middle Eastern styles of music, they detune. Well, detune. It's in the tuning that fits the culture, because you know other cultures can, you know, especially like Middle Eastern, Eastern European, you know, Asian cultures, African cultures, like they're using instruments that aren't exact pitches in terms of like Western theory, like A is 440, all that stuff. It's like, so if I were to do like, you know, it's like, oh, it's A and D. Let me detune it. Here it's like slightly off. So there's A. Oh, let's do that here. A. Oh, I adjusted my voice. A. A. I can't do that. That's hard. Yeah, but yeah, it's the little in-betweens, the little in-between things. So that's hard to do. This wedding was a little bit easier. The wedding I did this weekend, that was interracial marriage, because we are fortunate in Blue Water Kings to have some killer musicians of all diverse backgrounds. Wow. But the band was a mix of, some of the great folks in the roster, black, white, mixed, all doing funk, Motown, soul, a dash of rock, and just really making a space out of the theme. And like the song they walked to was a song I hadn't heard by Barry White, because I only know Barry White as a reference, but baby, 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 what about going to your love? Baby, 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 what about going to your love? He's got such a deep. It's like, how does he sing like that? Oh, baby, baby, baby. But he, yeah. So the song had the wait. Whatever it is, then I don't know. Very, very, very Barry, very, 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 very white, very Barry White, not very white. What was very white is ending with Journey all the time. Journey's a good closer. Not at this wedding. Everyone was gone. There was a lot of older people. It was a Sunday, They'd done the wedding thing, and now it's time for the after party. Like, people can, dance, and then, sometimes it's like, hey, I got my fill. I've seen a million weddings. I don't need to dance. I'd rather, pare it down to 10 people, get around a fire, have some conversation, But we did the, just keep shaking the keys. But an experience, I would say. A fun time overall. And I have more of them coming up. I have gigs. When you're listening to this is the Monday before my Madness Week happens. So I have gigs. I play with Earth Radio at the White Lake, or I will have played, I guess, when this comes out. Semantics. Unless you're watching it early on Patreon, you too can get quality content. For merely $5, you can enjoy all the wonderful things. Patreon.com/Snedeker. Anyway, it is going to be a busy week. Tuesday, I will have played the White Lake Arts Council, which was a reschedule from last summer. There's a buffer day that we're going to do a writing day for the band, a rehearsing writing day to get songs in shape. Thursday, we're playing at Rake Beer Project again. And our beer, which is out when this video comes out to the public, for patrons, it drops on Thursday at the show. Rake Beer Project has been doing these localized distributions of cans of artist pairings. So a lot of breweries have been, like Founders has been doing that a little bit. I just bought some merch from my friend Isan. He has a new clothing brand called Some with stickers and other cool artwork. He's an artist designer, Great dude. And a musician, Pluto Monday. You might see him on a future episode of Mitten Backstage. So keep an eye out for that. But Rake Beer Project, they're doing a really good job of like using the space they have to offer opportunity to other parts of the community. So, you know, they have a cozy indoor tap room tasting area, and they have a big outdoor patio. And they do, you know, the yoga sessions, like Yoga with Dan Bonner, or, you know, having a farm stand come in and sell their produce, partnering with local businesses and local artists. So Reanimate, our beer, our I think it's pink guava and vanilla. You'll have to look at our Instagram for the actual thing. I'm going to make sure I take some photos. But that's behind the scenes. Ooh. And then Friday, I have a wedding in Spring Lake. And then Saturday, I have a wedding in Glen Arbor, or will have had a wedding in Glen Arbor. So it's just all over the place. I'm going to do a lot of driving, a lot of time in the car, a lot of time on stage, a lot of time doing the dance between the creative and the corporate. And then Sunday, I'm going to collapse into a pile of laundry that I'll no doubt have to do, and take probably the morning off. I don't know. I haven't liked. I like taking my evenings off. I don't like taking the morning off. Feels like, well, I guess I should just take the whole day off. Like if I take the morning off, like I don't want to start work at like 2 p.m. That's stupid. I want to get up. Like today, I got up, went for a walk. I came here. Everything was great. I was just in a good mood. Threw this together. You know, and now I'm here doing work. It's proof. This is all proof that if anything, if this podcast is any indication, is that I will do work by myself to make things regardless of what else is going on in around me. And I should lean into that a little bit more, I think, because it'll help me create for other projects and things, but we'll see. Things are heating up, cooking up, getting ready. Can't believe it's already July though. I said that about June, I think, but July's like, that's when you know you're like summer's like halfway over. It's all depressing. So summer's halfway over. The cold will return. We will all go back into our homes, not for any sort of pandemic, but for the fact that we're going to be freezing cold for 4 months. Exciting thing to report. I think I'm going to be involved with another musical at West Shore Community College. I'm not going to say anything about details because I know Ted Malt, if he were to listen to this, I assume he isn't, because he's a busy man up there in Ludington. He wouldn't want me saying anything about, you know, what it's going to be or when or all of that. I just know that I think I'm going to be doing that again. It sounds like it's happening. I mean, it pretty much is happening. I got the call, so I'm excited about that. Another return to normal. Like the return to normal for me is like, people don't understand when you're in a creative field and you find big projects to work on that are reoccurring. You know, this will be my third musical with West Shore Community College. I basically live in Ludington for the majority of 2 to 2.5 months, and I rehearse with the crew, you know, teach parts however I can, you know, do things to the best of my ability. I help, you know, communicate the needs of the cast to the pit orchestra, and the director of said pit orchestra. And, you know, I'm just available to basically just be a Swiss Army knife, so they can just pull out, and like I could definitely play piano, and I can do a little bit of a bunch of other things. So they just want someone like that who can help. But but like I was saying, return to normal for me is like, all right, that's going to take place earlier in the year. And then, now we're getting close to spring by the time the musical's over. So, you have to wrap up your planning for most of the year, like a little bit ahead of that. Ideally you're starting in the fall for next year, or, however early you can get started. Like, I have weddings that are booked like December of next year already. And so the fact that there's not that rhythm of like here's that thing I expect that's going to happen at the beginning of the year, and then after that, all right, I spent a lot of time stewing, waiting for the creative stuff to come out, starting to work on new music, going on playing shows, going out and about, traveling, seeing people at festivals. It's crazy. Like, then, the fall, you're kind of getting set up for the next year while also like finishing up projects, doing remote or in-person collaborations, like doing things that are like, or getting longer term things started so that you can finish them at a time when more people could view it. Like if it's, like tech for an installation, or sheet music for a studio session in 4 months, like, these longer arc projects. Musicians are constantly shifting between the long and the short. Like, I need to post something today. I need to, queue up some photos and whatever. And then, by the end of the week, I need to have these things learned. So it's crazy. But it's also a nice, nice reminder that there's still more to go. But I feel like I'm in a better spot, I will say, overall. A better spot with my schedule, with my time. There's going to be an ebb and flow. There's going to be a need to probably up some of my pricing for freelance work, because I want to continue to take work that satisfies me, and make the little bits of money when I can, the short form stuff, like, oh, it took under an hour and I got paid $100 or something. Like, all those things are still going to exist, but, yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. There's always a goal. There's always something, and that's what makes music so much fun. There's always something to do, always something to enjoy, always something to work towards. So whatever your goal is, you work towards it. I encourage you. I send you out into the world with the imbued power of my musicality and my afro. So those are the only two things of value that I possess. Without them, I am just a walking husk of a man. No, I'm just kidding. Thanks for listening. Interesting one today. Totally off the cuff. Did not even know. Let me know if this made sense. If you enjoyed this, like, comment, and subscribe. This is, for all the YouTube people. For the non-YouTube people, maybe follow. I think follow is a thing. Whatever way you interact on whatever platform, feel free to do that. It shows your support. You can also go to patreon.com. Hey, patreon.com. And you can become a regular patron. I'm working to get some things out so people can, have added value to what I'm already providing, which is a monthly mailed newsletter with exclusive merch. And early episodes of the podcast, and hiring my time and services out. So thanks again for listening. Thanks again for supporting. I'm going to go. I think I got to clean this office. It's a little messy. But see you next week.